This project is not just another wooden box. The box uses dovetail joints and double inlay to really amaze your friends. The good thing about this build is that all you need is a scroll saw and a sander. We won't be using any special tools for the dovetail joints or the inlay. The contrasting wood inlay really looks impressive and is of Australian animals in an Aboriginal style. We're going to make two jigs. The first jig is for drilling the holes for the inlay. Cut out the two pieces and glue them to a piece of scrap board. Do the same for the dovetail joint jig. Inlay step 1. Because I'm using light wood for my box, I need to inlay some light wood into the dark wood for all the inside pattern pieces for my inlay. I'm using the wombat as an example. Use the jig to drill the hole with the hole angling in towards the piece and cut the pieces out on your scroll saw. I'm using 1/4 inch timber and therefore I'm using a 2.5 degree angle on my jig and I'm using a number 3 blade. Remove the pattern pieces that you've cut. The light piece we're going to keep and the dark piece we're going to throw away. Cut out all the inside pattern pieces in this way. Remove the two pieces. Notice that I've used clear tape to join the two pieces together. The top piece gets discarded and the bottom piece is the bit that we want. Then we can insert our light pieces into that dark piece for our inside inlay. I'm using a bit of sanding dust to rub into the cracks and I'll just run a bit of super glue into that to finish it off. Okay, so step 1 of the inlay is finished. And you can see it doesn't look too bad. Get the second pattern piece and cut out a couple of pieces of the inside pattern so we can align this with our dark piece of wood that's got the light inlay in it. Glue the pattern to the dark piece of wood. Simply trace around the dark piece to cut out the light piece that will be taped to the dark piece. Here we go, you can see the pieces taped together, the dark piece on top. Drill a pilot hole, cut out the wombat in the same way we did in step 1 and remove the pieces. This time it's the light piece that we're going to discard and the dark piece that we're going to keep. Separate the two squares, discard the dark piece, and now we can insert our wombat into the light piece which will form one of the sides of our box. With any small cracks filled and a light sand, we've finished one side. Now we need to do the same for all the other 4 sides. With the 5 inlay sides done, we can now start doing our joints. We're going to start with the dovetail type joint. Again, we cut out a couple of inserts so we can line it up with our inlay and then glue that down onto our piece of wood. I cut out the square, leaving a little bit on the edge, and then sand the line so we get a nice straight smooth line all around that's very accurate. This is important so we get a nice square box with each side lining up when we assemble the box. Set your scroll saw to 20 degrees and put a number 12 blade in the scroll saw. You can see the little arrows that indicate which direction the angle needs to be cut from. So I'm going to cut one angle for both of my side pieces. Now I set the scroll saw to 20 degrees to the left and cut out those angles as well. Reset the scroll saw to 0 degrees and insert a number 1 blade. The number 1 blade will slide in sideways into the number 12 blade cut. Cut about halfway along the line and then seesaw the jig to cut the rest of the way. And look at that, one perfect dovetail joint cut out. Do all the others. Reset your scroll saw to 0 degrees and put in a number 5 blade. The cuts for the front and back pieces are simple cuts. Just be careful when you finish cutting this piece, because the piece won't pop out because of the angle, so it's best to just turn the scroll saw off and take the piece out. With all the joints cut out, we can dry assemble the box to see that everything fits together okay. It's a nice tight fit, so that looks like it's going to work nicely. Glue the sides together and let it dry while you're doing the other pieces. This box uses a sliding lid. We're cutting out the lid on a 20-degree angle. This piece will be glued to the box so that the lid can slide in. Mark the latch position with an awl so then you can remove the pattern. To make the base, simply trace out around the box and then cut out the base, leaving a little extra. After gluing on the base, I like to sand to the line so I get a perfect match finished for the base. I'm using 1/2-inch dowel cut longwise for the latch post. Glue this inside the box on the face that you want to be the front. Glue the lid rail onto the box. With the lid in place, drill a pilot hole through the lid down into the latch post. I'm using magnets for the latch, so I drill a hole in the latch post and in the lid and put a magnet in each. Use whatever finish you like to complete the box. This box would be a great present for that person who has everything, but beware, you'll find that once you finish this box you'll find it very hard to part with. I believe that the combination of the dovetail joints and the double inlay make this a fun and satisfying project. So make one for yourself and amaze your friends.